I want to see the World Star moment.
What up, people? Happy Sunday, everybody. I know every Sunday at 7 p.m. we're here, but today it's at 3 p.m. So we are a little early today because of the yearly festivities that we call the Super Bowl, and everybody gets ramped up, and people usually spend time with their family. So we decided to come in a little bit early today and talk about how has sports exploited Black wealth and how has sports exploited Black wealth. I know a lot of people were probably a little off by the change of time, but listen, we're here, right? Because we're not trying to be good, we're looking to be great. And so every week we are going to be here to deliver something for the Black Wealth Project. Before we get this party started, I just want to read this quote real quick to get things going. America always tries to emasculate the greats. They murdered Malcolm and they gave cashes to sheiks. So when you think about that quote from the Honorable Jay-Z, you got to think about all the athletes who have put their bodies, their families, and their lives on the line to go out there on the field. And when you think about Black folks in particular, I can't think of any other group who has been hurt more by the giant machines of sports, whether it be the NFL, the NBA, the NCAA. It seems like some of us have made some money, but there's a great number more who have been hurt in this journey to be great in sports. So how is everybody today?
You talking about the Jay-Z that works with the NFL?
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with that. We can get into that.
I mean,
Anyway, yeah, I'm doing good, man. This has been a long day already. It's a long day.
Listen.
It's leading into a long day, but it's all good.
Yeah, I see y'all ready to pop and snap already. I'm here for it.
We in midday form, bro. Like I've been doing shows since 10 o'clock this morning, man. But it is what it is, man. I'm happy to be here, man. Oh, real quick, before we even give a black, I don't know what he's doing that. Yo, my god brother Rel got his own clothing brand, quality over quantity. So I will make sure to give him a shout out. You know what I'm saying? So, I rep my folk stuff like it's mine, because that's what I'm into. I got this from a Black owned business too. I'm trying to remember the brother's name. The Freedom Hat, you know what I'm saying? So shout to the Black owned business.
Where's the link for that shirt, Jimmy?
Yo, it's let me give you his IG page. I pulled
up. Throw that in the chat. Throw that in the chat.
I got you. So
I mean, since we plugging.
Trust Fund Kid, yeah.
Definitely still a link in my bio. Trust Fund Kid.
I like that.
Hey, I'm always in something Black.
Whoa. Who did that, Corey?
It's a young lady on IG. She sent it to me because I was on there talking. I was talking real heavy, and she was like, "Gotta have one of these shirts."
She's gonna take this shirt, yo. And the brother Kevin Sutton is a brother. Kevin Sutton on
Facebook. Kevin Sutton.
Yeah, Kevin Sutton. That's the made this Freedom Hat. That was kind of fire.
I'll look through, but I had this shirt for like 2 years, so I can't really tell you exactly.
But anyway, we repping all the Black owned brands. That's what we do.
That's what we do. Listen, everybody in the chat, in the comments that's coming on. Some of y'all have not given authority to StreamYard to show y'all name. Y'all got your privacy settings on. So do me a favor, click the StreamYard link, give them permission to share your information so we can say what's up to y'all and greet y'all properly. I'm seeing a good evening from everyone. Somebody, maybe that's our people over in Australia. Facebook user saying, "Hey, Kamari, I'm not sure who you are." Karan says, "Yo, what's up?" He hella early. Yeah, we
Don here. The show.
Don here, so we can start. Once Don pulled up, we can start.
Then we got another Facebook user saying, "Hey, fella."
Came down to this trend line here.
That's our show. Who's listening to our show?
That wasn't my Facebook page.
Oh.
Yo,
Malik trying to multitask. Come on, bro.
No, I was trying to look at the comments on my phone, but
I know
we appreciate that support. That's from Bodyhood University, yo, for the folks out there.
What's that?
The way he was listening to. That was from our earlier class.
Malik, I saw that you got at people a little bit earlier. Earlier today, talking about investing in yourself is a great thing.
Oh man. I told you he had the fire. I got you props, man. That was a dope video.
I got a problem in the street, man. It's important investing in yourself. It's important to. A lot of times, man, folk don't try to I don't want to pay for this. I don't want to pay for that. I'm like, yo, you want to invest time and or money. And in my case, I invested a lot of both. I wasn't afraid to cut the check and it improved my life. But one of the points that I really wanted to make is, one, make sure the person, if you trust somebody, make sure they're an expert, because there's a lot of people on social media with a lot of following, but they're not an expert in their field. Do your Googles, make sure they're the expert, and they can't only be an expert, but they also got to be a good teacher. There's plenty of people that know their stuff, but they can't do a good job of teaching you. Then it's wasted money. So you have to do your reviews, talk to people, whatever. But, I spent thousands of dollars, learning for about stock and options. And I lost a lot of money trying to trade. I made a lot of money trying to trade, but ultimately, talking to, I spent hours talking to Jimmy and Corey, hours reading stuff, hours on YouTube, hours on courses, and I came with my strategy that I use now that fits my lifestyle and making me a bucket of money. So now you got to invest in yourself, man. You have to, time and money.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Salutes on that.
My man said a bucket of money.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like Malik when I grow up. I need buckets.
Hey, listen, and from the crib.
That's the main thing I caught on when I saw that. I was like, from the crib.
Don't even leave the crib.
You ain't gotta go far. At all. But listen, as we progress on, we're gonna do our BOB of the day. And y'all know we always plug a good Black-owned business. So my plug today, since we plug in Black-owned businesses heavy, I'm gonna go ahead and plug a good firm that I really, really like a lot. And the firm that I'm going to plug is the Philadelphia Tax Team, Philly Tax Team, founded by Mr. Kamari Ellis, the enrolled agent. So if anybody needs help getting their taxes done this season, feel free to hit me up. Call the number 484-482-0823. If you have any IRS debt that you need to get rid of, go ahead again and hit the number 484-482-0823. It's tax season.
Rub your hands together like Birdman, Kamari. Go ahead. Go do that, Birdman.
Listen, it's tax season, and we got a lot of tax law changes. So this year's season is going to be crazier than last year. So get y'all.
Yo, my guy made himself the Black Business of the Week. He could at least let one of us read it off, though.
But listen, I'm gonna keep it funky. You know why I did that, right? Because I always want to plug other people. We didn't figure out a BOB of the week, so I pulled an audible.
I ain't mad at that.
I pulled an audible. Hey, Courtney, how you doing?
Hey.
Everything over there okay?
You're not having World Star moments, are you?
We was trying to yell World Star, but you was
Yeah.
World Star.
All right.
Well,
Well, if you gotta bounce, I get it. So, all right, let's get into our folks. Let's say what's up to our folks. We hit Don. We got a couple of people again. Turn your settings on, y'all. Turn your settings on.
It's not always them though.
Okay. All right. So, hey, Adrian, man, this is right on time. My first options class just ended and my head hurt.
Yeah, right. Shout to Adrian. She's in our Sunday class. So shout to Adrian.
Oh, that was your first one? Oh my God. Scale back.
Yeah.
That was from, he's talking about Malik.
Yeah.
All right. Adrian saying, hey, y'all. All right, Latoya, what's up, Latoya? That's my tax sister right there. I always take a risk with myself. Miss Sean says hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Angela, how you doing? Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Same back to you.
Happy Sunday. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. What's going on, Miss
There we go.
BOB, that's right.
I like that BOB. Y'all like the Philly Tax Team? I'll take that. Mitchell Brown, how you doing, bro? That's what I say all the time. Your money work for you, not work for your money. Absolutely. All right, Courtney gets her own special shout out, y'all. So hey to Courtney. Oh, Courtney left again. All right.
She dealing with stuff today, bro.
She is. I ain't even gonna clown her for it. All right,
yeah,
people.
Man, listen, man. I sent. Everything's with crazy. I done sent Jimmy 2 houses in Nicaragua the other day, man.
Yo, did he, man? And it was nice too. Listen. Yo.
All right, hold on, y'all. Y'all know we got a tight schedule today. We got to stay. Let's stay good with these comments. All right, so
they was fired though. But go ahead.
Mitchell says people work in the companies for years and have nothing to show for it. It's time to put your money in the right place. Mm-hmm. All right, and Romaine says hello. Hey, Romaine. Yeah. All right, so what did you do, Malik? We looking at Nicaragua now?
No, I sent Jimmy 2. One of them was beachfront, 35 racks in Nicaragua.
Yeah, man. He sent me these cribs in Nicaragua. I was like, man, Malik got me following this boy with IG that sell cribs in like in Ghana, man.
The boy Gus, in Ghana. Yo, he got
he's a black agent in Ghana, but he be having some amazing properties, man. So
well, y'all ain't been sharing because y'all know I'm on that whole expat digital nomad life thing too.
Hey, so listen, man. We making moves, man. We going, it was a couple years. We gonna be working from wherever.
That's all right. Well, Courtney's back. Courtney, you got a couple shout outs.
World Star.
All right, Courtney.
Hold up. Do we know that's the real Courtney, or is that Ivy Investor 21 or Ivy Investor 2006 or
Forex Bot's been on Courtney?
Yo, Courtney and Tracy have been catching it heavy on social media. They got y'all be careful out there, because they were getting their accounts cloned. So we had about 50 accounts yesterday. They were using Tracy's pictures or Courtney's pictures, and whoever's pictures they use the other one's content. So I don't know who they pissed off. Y'all probably watching. Whoever they pissed off, y'all might be watching, but that's what's going on in these social media streets.
The streets is watching.
Literally.
But all right, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so let's get into this, y'all. We said we want to talk about how sports has exploited black wealth. Again, how has sports exploited black wealth? Now, Jimmy, I think you are the quote unquote king of sports and king of black sports on this panel, but today it was Courtney's idea. So what do y'all think about sports and black exploitation overall? What are your thoughts about it?
Well,
now, Jimmy, I think you.
See, Courtney trying to watch. He's trying to do like both at the same time. I see what you're doing there. Like, thanks for the support, though. Thanks for the view and helping us fight the algos. But I like to start off with this, right? First of all, everybody watching, go support War Room Sports, which is on Facebook. I'm an equity owner in that, but that's either here nor there. So I want to start with a couple books. First is $40 Million Slaves by William Roden, who was actually interviewed on War Room Sports, but that's either here nor there. So $40 Million Slaves by William Roden, and also Black Labor, White Wealth, right? So those are two books I want to start with. So $40 Million Slaves, and actually both books talk about the fact that we're able to be the labor within specific industries, but never get into the ownership class. So that's the biggest problem when it comes to sports. And we can, talk about what's going on in the NCAA. So, as mentioned in Ta-Nehisi Coates' book, it's like they love black bodies, but only when it can do the work for them. They don't allow us to get into those C-suites or positions of power. And a lot of times, because our athletes have contracts that are so heavy, right? They have heavy contracts. We say, oh man, well, that's okay. You make X amount per year, or you do this, you do that. But the fact of the matter is the power still comes through the equity within the institutions as well as the teams, because that's how you're able to employ other folks, right? So that's real power. I can pay you $40 million to play a specific position, but if I'm never allowing you to get into the ownership class, for one, you'll never be able to, extend to the next level of wealth, but also put other people in positions of power, which is why you see the problems with coaches, general managers, never looking like the athletes that are out there. So, I mean, race in sports, it's a whole crazy dynamic.
So what do you got on this, Courtney?
Ooh, so Jimmy is talking about a lot of the sports players are subject to what's called a contract of adhesion. It's a adhesion contract or a contract of adhesion. There's one very strong bargaining party and then one that's kind of a weaker party to the contract. And there's not that much that can be changed. Some, depending on how much clout you have in the league or how much how important you are to a team, you might have a little bit more bargaining power, but everybody coming out and kind of getting that first contract, it's usually trash, basura, whatever you want to call it. But it's unfortunately, because it really speaks to where the bargaining power is, to Jimmy's point, is that it's not in the hands of the player. And the players are actually the ones that generate the income for the owners. And looks very similar. I would say, I wouldn't call it indentured servitude. I wouldn't say it's that, but it's a very similar situation when there's that very strong ruling class. And it's very hard. And I think I don't think I heard Jimmy get into it, but it's really actually hard to be an owner. Like, you have to kind of basically be initiated or brought in, or somebody has to a couple of you have to vouch for you, more or less. So I think there's some real serious problems in sports, especially when it comes to the commoditization of black bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, Malik, y'all got anything on this?
I got a little bit on it, man. So first of all, my name this week is definitely on the joint. North Carolina Central University, my university. the Bucks did draft 2 of our players that are playing today in the Super Bowl. So shout to Bruce Arians for not only bringing some kids from a black college, but hiring the blackest coaching staff. And one thing that Bruce Arians said that I really do appreciate is that he hired the way he hired because he understands how it is to be overlooked, right? Coming from a Super Bowl winning team and not getting the opportunity, he understands how difficult it is for them to get an opportunity to lead. That's why he hired all the black people he could find for his coaching staff. So shout to Bruce Arians for that. But I will say that I really want to know who told on Kyrie Irving when he was trying to start another league during.
Who do you think?
Who told on him?
One of our folks. Listen,
I know one of our folks.
Our folks. When go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, so backstory, just real quick. Allegedly, I don't know how true it is, but Kyrie Irving during last year, COVID, everything shut down. Kyrie Irving pretty much get the guys together to like, okay, we don't need the NBA. Let's do our own league. And somebody told on him, like, no, Kyrie said we can't do this no more. We're trying to get out of here. And then it's a whole thing got out and it got blown up. But how powerful, that would have been even early. If it wouldn't have been that successful, eventually it would have gained success. Hopefully like the big 3. But what I will say is that what they did with Patrick Mahomes, they gave him a part of the Royals, am I right, for a part of his last contract for winning Super Bowl.
Well, no. Here, funny thing is, like, so allegedly, because I didn't see all the paperwork, nor do I know this, but the stories that were out there is he asked for equity in the team, being the Chiefs, as opposed to giving him equity. They actually gave him $500 million. They would rather give him $500 million than to give him equity, right? That should show you something right there. Now,
they gave him $500 million.
Now, supposedly he took some of that money and they, cut a deal where he became like a minority owner in the baseball franchise. But he wanted equity in the Chiefs that he plays for. He was trying to do something revolutionary where, like, I want a piece of this team. I'm gonna, be here the rest of my career. And he's very successful. He's playing today. But as opposed to giving him that equity, they say, yo, we'd rather give you $500 million. They increased the price to, so I mean that right there should show you something. At least in my opinion, it does. Because when ownership, right, even if it's a seat at the table, is something else. And Kyrie was talking about instead of getting a seat, build your own.
Build your own.
But that's why you always see these comparisons to slavery, although it's a bit much. But I get why you see it. Yeah. How many times have you seen the narrative of like, hey, we're gonna escape this plantation, and somebody go tell Massa.
But I mean,
before we get too far, by Corey, you got anything on this?
Nah, I mean, most of it's been said, and nothing that I'm going to say should be said on Facebook. So no.
Don't forget, we're on YouTube too, y'all.
I'm just saying, like nothing that I say should be said in public, because I'm going to start talking about 6Fs and how they they commoditize black people, and they've been commoditizing black people since they've been on this continent. So I'm gonna leave it there. We've been commodities. That's all they ever see us at.
So
black labor, white wealth. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Y'all right. So we know there's an issue with ownership, right? Especially with the NFL, because in the NBA we got a couple of black owners. I know Jordan's the owner. He brought from Bob Johnson. And I believe there's another owner. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. But it also seems like, going back to the NFL, that there is a problem in coaching, right? So they oftentimes look over black coaches. And what do you think about that, Jimmy?
Well, that comes to positions of power, right? So one of the reasons that people want to sit at the table is because you tend to hire folks that look like you. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the Miami Dolphins, who put a black GM in, they also have a black coach, right? So this is why we're never allowed in positions of power. And shout out to Bruce Arians too, because our own Willard Cooper, who's generally in the comments, but probably us being early, he's not here. But he was a great college football player, and he was recruited by Bruce Arians. And one of the things he told us is, and I think he said this on the Body Hood podcast too, that he played quarterback, and Bruce was the only one that allowed him at the collegiate level to play that position, because the old adage of black people can't play quarterback. all the other coaches are trying to switch his position. But so Bruce Arians is, supposedly been on this wave for a long time.
So hold on. Let me cut in real quick, y'all. I will be remorse. We already messed up once, y'all. Last week we did not announce the passing of Cicely Tyson, nor did we mention the passing of Coach Chaney. And today we're talking about black sports, and we have to at least take a quick moment of silence for Coach Chaney real quick. So for everybody who doesn't know, Coach Chaney was the head of Temple's basketball's men's program, a major figure in the city, did a whole lot for black folks getting into Temple in terms of sports, making sure that grades were on top. He was a no nonsense kind of guy, and the city missing.
Man, he's a legend, man. I've talked to him several times. I play Sunny Hill ball in Total Response, but the crazy part about it is, and I think back of conversation with Coach Chaney, none of them were about basketball.
Right.
And that's what, to me as an adult, I think about that like, damn, none of these conversations were about basketball. It's about life in school.
So I know him a different way. He was my mom's gym teacher. So
He was your mom's what?
He was my mom's gym teacher.
Oh wow.
So I know him a little bit different way, you know what I mean? So, and my mom is also a Temple grad, so she used to just walk me into the games and stuff. So I know him a little bit of a different way than Jim knows him. But as always, the conversations were never about basketball ever. You know what I mean? Even though I was interested, I played ball. That's how me and Jim met. We played ball together, but I never talked to Coach Chaney about basketball.
Listen, shout out to Coach Chaney for allowing some young kids walking home from E&S to stare in his 850 BMW in the alleyway and not tell us to get off his car. We in his car like, oh, it's 850, and he like, look, hey guys, and kept it moving like that. Shout out to Coach, man.
That thing was clean though. I ain't gonna hold you.
Hey, that 850, man, that thing was solid.
Yeah.
That's a dream car.
Coach was hurting the street back then.
I gotta say, one of the funniest moments though with Coach was when Aaron McKee cut all his hair off. And he said, Blue, why did you cut all your hair off? And this was a live broadcast. He was like, he was so beautiful. Why did he cut all his hair off? And if you ever met him or at least been in his presence, you could only understand it. I guess I'm probably not doing it justice, but the way he said it was like, Blue, why did you cut your hair off? And that always stood out to me for some reason. But
and again, also,
Coach,
real quick before we move on, I want to say rest in power to Cicely Tyson. We lost another legend. So we definitely gotta give her flowers as well. Man, it's crazy. 2021 is crazy.
You know what? We definitely got to give a shout out to Coach Thompson as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Coach Thompson, also RIP, another legend. Like the stories of him talking to Rayful Edmonds.
That's fire. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was a kid, I thought Georgetown was an HBCU because of him. somebody had told me like that's not a black school. I said yes, it is. That's Coach Thompson.
Yeah,
he had me thinking that was an HBCU.
Listen, man, but people when you think about man the effects, Philly wouldn't be the same without Coach Thompson. Without Coach Thompson, we don't get Iverson at the Fridays. We don't get that. Iverson, Benny Siegel lined up in Bentleys in the street. We don't get none of that without Coach Thompson.
Yeah.
Leave it to Malik to always bring up the ratchet stuff.
Hey, listen. He ain't lying though.
They made Philly cool.
He not lying.
They made Philly cool. Philly wasn't cool for a long time, man. They made Philly cool again.
Courtney, everything good? Every time Courtney come back, you gotta see her face is like
oh shit.
but no. So rest in peace, Coach Thompson. Rest in peace to Coach Chaney, and Cicely Tyson as well. I want to send a rest in power shout out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, what do y'all think is the move? Like we're talking about the leagues or players starting their own leagues. Many people say that it can't be done. Like Malik just brought up with Kyrie Irving. People snitched on him. But what's the 3-on-3 league? Whatever Ice Cube has is
it's been pretty successful actually. That's and they got another league. What's the
hold on, Corey? What's been pretty successful?
The Big Three.
The Big Three. Well, that's what I was going to ask. I haven't really checked. That's what I was going to ask. So it's been successful, Corey.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty successful because he started with big name players like Iverson and stuff like that. But and then the promotion behind it has been good. And then Ice Cube is also into the marketing in that industry, and so that's been pretty successful. So and then the players are again 80, 90, 95% black, and so they have a rapport, and so it's
The only issue, right? The only
Yeah.
issue. Well, for one, the pandemic, right? So they
Yeah.
were struggling based upon the pandemic. I'm not sure whether they bounced back or not, but that was a word early. The only issue, right, if we want to be, if you really want to peel back the layers, is the money behind that, right?
Right. It's not all Ice Cubes, right?
It's most not Ice Cubes.
Yeah, most of it's not Ice Cubes. It's this
Right.
white lady, but I don't know her name.
No, it's
I
well,
do. Who's a Trump fan, right?
yep.
Yeah,
It's
no. Wasn't his partner his partner is the lady? Who's the dude?
Well, bottom line is it ain't us. Let's just put it that
Yeah.
way, because I want to put no wrong information. It's not us. But I mean, even beyond that, that's one of the answers. But I think the most interesting dynamic to me is when you see the things that are going on with LeBron, right? Because it's like he's standing on the shoulders of Ali, Michael Jordan. I'm not comparing him to any of them and anything they did, but I'm talking about recognizing his power. Because I don't know who comes after him in terms of this, but some of the moves he's making in terms of empowering his folks, really leveraging who he is amazing to see. And you can build from that, because the thing is, and someone said it in the comments, like the power is the fact that most of the league is us. So when we say, yo, we're not playing, we don't play. I mean, it happened last year when all the riots and everything broke on, that they really shut the whole league down, and that's possible to do. So I think it's interesting to see what he does once he leaves the game, because he's building up a resume and a portfolio that should allow him to get into the ownership class. So we'll see what happens there. But he's already shown his ability to empower his folks. I mean, his best friend sits on the board of a Fortune 500 company. That's all through them understanding, asking the right questions and understanding leverage and understanding who you are.
But the way LeBron and his homies ran that play, in my opinion, is the way we should all be running our plays. Right? A homie got on, he put the other ones on, but it wasn't being put on for entitlement. Like, people just want to be put on just for the sake.
You got to do the work.
On. You got to do the work, and you got to bring. But everybody's got to bring, like, we haven't done. Everybody got to bring some chicken or some turkey or some vegetables. You got to bring something to the table.
Just no red meat.
Who's doing? What's that?
And no raisins in the. Never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. You're right. No raisins in a potato salad.
No, but
Cordy, like, what are y'all talking about?
They are very creative, though, man. Like, as far as how they put together structures, how to get the young boy the internship at Reebok rather than playing the league. They've been super creative. How they did the bike deal, how they did the Blaze Pizza. Like,
well, that's because they're not sticking to the status quo. And part of that, if you watch it, Maverick talks about just asking the right questions. He said his success has nothing to do with how smart he is, but he knows how to ask questions. So his thing is, why can't you do it this way? Well, tell me why. Okay,
Right.
And then you figure it out. So I've heard him say that on multiple occasions. It's about asking the right questions, because a lot of times people just go through the status quo. This is how you do a deal. This is how you get an endorsement and you get a check. Well, why? Why can't we do it this way?
And that's the case. Now, Courtney, were you trying to say something?
No, I don't understand with the raisins and the potato salad and what the red meat problem is. Like, what's the problem with red meat?
I like red meat.
Me too.
I'm saying, but hold on.
It wasn't about red meat or really food in general. I was just saying that
it was an analogy. We were building on an analogy.
No, I got that part, but I didn't understand what the problem with the red meat is. I mean, I'm okay. I mean,
I know you the keto queen, so I get it. But hold on though. But you said you had no problem with raisins and potato salad. You didn't say that, did you?
No.
Oh, let me find out.
Whoa.
Oh, easy.
Wait. So I was just asking the problem. I personally have not had it. I'm pretty sure that my South Carolina grandmother would have lots of problems with that. I just never had it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it's a different taste.
Nah, we're not going with that. We can't let you get that off. No. You like red meat, that's okay, but we ain't gonna do no raisins and potato salad. Like, yo, anybody watching, man, let us know in the comments, man. Y'all like raisins in y'all potato salad?
I never said I never had it. I wasn't opposed to it though.
No, you have to be opposed to it.
You have to.
You can't play the middle
it's
on
for
this.
the culture, Courtney. It's for the culture.
You can't play the middle on this.
Listen. Even if you do like it, you gotta keep that to yourself. That meaning transcends the actual food.
Thank you for my social media post for later. You gave me a post for later. Hey guys, did you know that Ivy Investor likes raisins in her potato salad?
Don't do that. She's gonna start getting cloned again, and people are gonna be putting potato salad as her mean picture.
Potato salad emojis in Courtney's mentions. everybody drop potato salad emojis in Courtney's mentions.
But seriously, we got our time is tight tonight. We are running tight. Sure. We are ending at 4 p.m. sharp. So actually, we're going to end at 3:59 on the nose because folks got things to do today. So why aren't more folks, right? Players. Let's look at the players. Why aren't more players putting their money plays together? I know, and at the Warriors, they're starting to do it a lot because they're in that Silicon Valley environment, and so they're thinking about VC and they're also thinking about private equity and overall investment. But why aren't more athletes starting to put their money together and do some things together?
They coming. Listen, and I want to give a shout.
That ain't the question though. Why haven't they been doing it though?
Well, that's an impossible question to ask, but I'm telling you is that they are now, and I want to shout, bro. I don't even know this dude. His name is Rashawn Williams. He's putting together a lot of black athletes, and he's had like 15 exits over the past 24 months, with mostly black athletes. A lot of them are really coming. I think what's my man name? He's for Sixers. What's his name? Jimmy Thaddeus. Thaddeus Young's like one of the main investors in what they're doing like that. They're getting busy, man. They're getting busy.
No, I agree. I think that, and I think a lot of this is due to Brown, but also due to information. Because when you read the biographies of some of the great athletes, a lot of times they talk about they didn't know this was an option. They didn't even ask the questions or think about it because it was always told to them, "Hey, you can't do this." But these younger guys are saying we're going to do this.
I got a question though, right? Magic's been running this up for at least 2 decades.
Mm-hmm. Nobody listens.
Wait a minute. He's been accessible.
Magic will tell you to him.
Or are you going out?
Magic will tell you things about how nobody listens. Listen, Dave Bing made a truck ton of money. So did Vinnie Johnson. So like a lot of those dudes from Detroit, they got into the business sector and made a $1 billion, right? So it's not that athletes is not running it up outside of the thing. Putting money together is something newer for them. You know what I mean? Because a lot of athletes individually had great businesses, but then now you got athletes and entertainers that's getting into Drake he's all over. He got like 15 startup companies. You know what I mean? Like that's where most of his money comes. Kanye, even though he's an entertainer, his billions came from when being part owner of Adidas, or whatever.
His brand, right?
Jay-Z, him and his wife, pay me in equity. So people are starting to understand now better, and so now you seeing this sea change of people, wanting their masters, or athletes starting to, put their money together and start new things. They're not even trying to invest in the old things. They're trying to start new things that circle away from the stuff that they're currently doing. So I'm with them.
And I want to ask this because I see a comment in that says the limitations in sports are basically the same in almost all industry of blacks, and I think that's true because it's not just sports, it's entertainment, it's law. It's like we're playing from behind, to use a sports analogy. We're playing from behind, but I think that the momentum is on our side. So I think that you will start to see us in more of an ownership position. Like there's really a black wealth renaissance going on, and a lot of times we don't recognize it because we're amongst it. But folks are asking the questions. And to Corey's point, some are just starting their own things and pulling away from the system within sports and outside of sports. So I think that the fact is now we feel like we can do it. In the past, athletes felt as though they couldn't. They felt like you had to be a Magic or a Michael who were literally the top of their profession. Like either you're them and you could sit at the table, or you don't. But now you have guys who are mid-level guys who are asking questions, making moves. Russell Okung in football, who's heavy into crypto, but not just from ownership of the actual assets, but the companies behind it. So you're seeing a lot of this going on Malik, I know you had a point you wanted to make.
Yeah, no, what I was saying, like Andre Iguodala in particular is heavy. Like when he went out there to Oakland,
So that started when he got to the Warriors. That was my point. I was
right?
trying.
But he's saying it's smart. So when you're looking at it, right? When you look at everything, it all goes in. When somebody has success, people follow. Where the early '90s, every rapper, Ron Artest, who had one of the best rappers that never blew, Ali Vegas. I'm sorry, that was Lamar Odom, right? So they're all doing labels. Then they were doing clothing lines, and then they were doing other stuff. And then now, now you got Nas making, hundreds of millions. You got Chamillionaire, and then you got all these other athletes, and they're spreading that information. And so they are doing. They have more investments coming, so the word is definitely getting out. And as the bag get bigger, then you got.
Hold on,
we got to stop. The legend is showing up.
All hail the queen.
Oh,
We have to say hello to Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Yeah.
Hey y'all! I was like, I rushed here to get it in to get y'all situated because we got done early, and I was like, oh my god.
Well, hold on. We gotta know that's the real Tracy, or is that Tracy 106, 107? Like is that one of the clones, or is that the real Tracy?
Yo, the bots are out of control right now. They stealing identities. They posting fake pages. Like, what's happening?
You and Courtney pissed somebody off.
Apparently.
I had to.
Yo, but Kamari, to your point about Andre Iguodala sits on the board of Jumia. Like, he's on the board.
Yeah.
Like, so you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
Well, hold on, y'all. I wanna do something real quick. I don't think we ever did this, right? Did we ever publicly acknowledge Tracy and her accolades?
no, man. Listen, we amongst giants, dog. You got another magazine cover. Like,
let's go.
listen, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. But yeah, the cover of the Philadelphia Real Producers magazine is the cover story for one of the top producing realtors in Philadelphia County.
Because you're a top producer in Philadelphia.
Listen, I keep telling y'all, Tracy's a legend, yo.
We had to talk about this, right? Because she out here stuck like a daddy. She got on now.
And she bodied y'all with the pink too.
Yeah, now, Tracy, is that pink or is that mauve?
No, sir. That is hot pink, but not to be confused with salmon pink and apple green. But we need to make sure that we pay homage to pink.
Listen, I think y'all missed the reference though, so it's.
I didn't miss anything.
I know you got it. So she out here stunting like Jay-Z, y'all.
Yo, so for the magazines watching, there's like 4 of us left, and
Yeah, we like magazine covers too. Listen,
we might decide to start our own magazine.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't get the.
Who's next to the magazine cover, man? And hopefully it's not Don Diva or Feds.
I might end up on there, Jim. I can't.
I can't.
The Rooney Rule.
I regularly schedule programming, right? So Talisha brings up the Rooney Rule. Anybody want to talk about that? Because that's pretty big.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Well,
Full of holes. I'm gonna say full of holes.
It's still a big deal. So it came out of the Pittsburgh Steelers camp, the Rooneys. They own the Pittsburgh Steelers. The rule is that if there is an opening, I think it started as a coach opening or as a GM opening, and then it kind of moved on to like the front office, that you have to interview a person of color. So the thought is that you're actually putting somebody in the potential opportunity to get the position or get a position. Now, in practice, I still think it's kind of bad. Yeah. But I think it's a step in the right direction.
I mean, you have to be compelled to at least talk to a black man. Like, oh no, you didn't even talk to a black man.
It's the illusion of inclusion. I mean, and I don't think people really factor that in. But go ahead, Malik. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it's like they have to be compelled to at least even talk to a black man. Like they were like without a rule, they wouldn't even talk to a black man. Can you understand? Like not hire. They wouldn't even talk to a black man
in the room.
Being compelled to.
Hey, so full of.
Shout out to Deuce Staley. Deuce Staley they kept him around for years just for that reason. They would bring him in every year just to say, "Hey, we talked to him," and he got tired of. He finally got tired of.
Todd Bowles, he was that guy. So finally he got a shot. He got like 2-3 years out of there, but now at least my man Todd Bowles today in the Super Bowl. Shout to Todd Bowles, man. You know, all these years.
So as we look at this, right, and as we begin to wind down, I think we got to talk about this, right? Today's cover. Did anybody get a chance to see today's cover art for the Blackwell Project?
I shared. I need to look at it, honestly.
I think this brother probably has been the prime example of Black exploitation in sports forever and ever. And when we look at Kaepernick and what went on with him, I think he's probably, you know, maybe not the most, but at least the most relevant and the newest. And I don't think we're really thinking about how his career has been impacted by some of the moves he's made. What do y'all think of that?
I think that's a nuanced conversation because
man.
if you really want to get into it, his career has been enhanced by his activism. If anything else, this is, I mean, he's on his, well, he'll be forever remembered, right?
Not for football. So we talking about football.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he was on his way to not being remembered for football. If we want to be honest, like he was on his way to not being remembered for football, but now he's bigger than the game. So, I mean, you know, I think he was done wrong. Obviously, I think he was done wrong, but he's become a symbol and he's become an icon. And to me, him not playing is more impactful than him even playing.
But he has a lawsuit. Like, let's be very clear. He has a complete lawsuit because there was a collusion issue about owners not willing to bring him on the team.
I thought they settled that.
But they did settle it. They did because why do you use that as an attorney? We usually settle things where we don't want all our business in the streets, and we knew we were wrong. But I think it's really important. I haven't seen the complaint, but it did talk about collusion, and you can't do that. But again, I think it's really important to understand is that, you know, when you're so good at what you're doing, is that you are going to cause somebody to kind of step out their box. And they're going to run afoul of some rule. And there it was. They ran afoul of a rule and he got a settlement. But again, I think the bigger concern is that us being in football is actually relatively recent. And us even being in a position to even be a quarterback, relatively recent. Why? Because they felt like we did not have the intelligence to actually be a quarterback. They didn't feel like they wanted to play with us in the league. And now we're what, 60% or more in the league now. I think it's 70% for 2020. I mean, I think there's something to be said about how, you know, at first you didn't want us in here and now all you want is us and you're still not going to treat us well. I think it's important to understand. And a lot of the NFL players, even the lower rung, a lot of them are considered by the definition to be accredited investors. So they have the opportunity to have investments such as startups, to be on, you know, to invest in startups and all those things available to them by virtue of their salary. But it's a function of a lot of them some of them, I shouldn't say a lot, some come from poverty and they don't even have the idea to conceptualize the opportunities that they have in front of them based on their income. Because all they do is they have commoditized their labor and said, I'm only good for my labor. Now, a lot of them have gone to college. So, you know, like it's an interesting interplay to watch and see. And it also feels like you still don't have the power that you think you do.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I mean, like this whole conversation, I think only thing, the tough part is I think that we put way more value, I think, on sports than we actually should. But when you got people like, you know, Snoop and you got, you know, Uncle Luke, you know, really putting on like full leagues, you know, to bring kids up to get to a Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, right? It's like when parents are in these impoverished areas, a lot of times they don't have any idea of how to escape their circumstances except for sports entertainment, right? But then also it is an escape from the surroundings. We've all had those stories of somebody that was in a neighborhood that was rough that got a pass because they was good at sports. Deshaun Jackson, you know, for one of those people, right? But I just think that we probably should put other emphasis other places. It's like if I don't make it sports entertainment, then I'm just done for. And that isn't the case. But it's how do you get the message that there are more millionaire coders than it is athletes, you know? And you know, we got to figure out another way to share some other messages, other ways to get millions. And I will say this, man, there's a lot of other young people out here, you know, that are really getting that business world and that investment world, and they getting it together, but the word is just not spreading as fast as it really needs to. That you could be well off. You know, one last example I'm gonna write out is
Black Twitter is changing that, man. Black Twitter is everywhere, dog.
Mhm.
Like everywhere.
I don't just saw that post from Aisha's page, man. The young boy, 8 years old, you know, who was reading her book. You know, young boy was a monster. You know, 8 years old, talking about, you know, investing now after just reading Mother Millions. You know, so it's a big thing.
Nah,
That's right.
That's large, man. Because
And real quick, I do want to say this, man. We got I'm gonna do a post later on the day. I had to really reconfigure it, and I think that black people as a whole, we are 100% behind in the old world. We don't live in the old world anymore.
right.
You can really blaze ahead. There is no monopoly on the future right now. There's a small percentage of people operating in the future, and we can really take advantage of that and advance ourselves. Like, you know what, y'all got that. The past, that was on y'all. But as far as these battle bots, these drones, you know, these NFTs, Dr. Jim for that tip.
Yo, come live with me in 2035. That's where I'm at.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Hold
Right.
on,
We're talking about open reality, virtual reality. That's the world's wide open.
Malik, let's put that in context, right? What do you consider old world now? We're running up hard against the bricks. So what do you consider old world? What do you consider new world?
I mean, really, I'm thinking old world is get a job at the insurance company, right? Work for DHL, like that's old world stuff. Even working at a factory, that, you know, that's kind of old world stuff. When you're looking at, like I said, augmented reality. Well, I post a lot of stuff on AR with Idris Sandu, and he's a leader in that space.
So you feel a 9-to-5 job is working, it's old world, and so
No. I see 9-to-5 job. You could have 9-to-5.
Everything you listed related back to work. I just want to get this clear. I want this to be clear. So
I'm trying to be
It's talking
clear.
more about industry, not having a job versus not having a job. It's about the industry that you choose to focus on for your job. So instead of getting a job, instead of like learning insurance or getting a job in insurance, look at you know some of the industries that are you know coming up, blockchain, augmented reality, those kind of things.
So basically, you're saying we need to shift our educational focus for the older technology.
Work towards the future. When we're talking about, we got people in Scranton being murdered over fucking parking spots, right? Over snow spots. But then you got Elon Musk, you know, and Jeff Bezos fighting over where their satellites are going in the system. Like, yo, the arguments are just different.
Yeah, it's different.
We're just lots of what black people doing is like we're fighting.
They fighting for land on Mars, and we're
like, yo, Elon Musk, he's talking about talking about land, mining for gold on asteroids.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they gotta bring it home. They gotta bring it home, though. I guess we should focus on STEM. That's what it really boils down to. It's like really investing into STEM.
Have to. Yeah, I guess even STEAM, really. You know,
STEAM. Yeah, STEAM. Let's say STEAM. Yeah,
it's STEAM, because you still need a creativity part.
No, I agree. So STEAM. Let's say we need to invest more in STEAM.
The point that I was trying to make is white people don't dominate the future. The past and now, yes. If we lock in on the future, then this whole racial wealth gap, that shit is over with. If we get into that space.
Is it really though? And I know actually, well, hold on. I think this is actually a great show topic, Malik. Old versus new, how to dominate, where to go, because you still will have old money that's going to be perfectly positioned to dominate the new. So
they fund everything.
Right. And so, but I would love to discuss that and go further with that. I mean, Malik, because I think you have a valid point.
Show topic.
Somebody remember that, y'all. All right, so it is 3:56. Everybody, we're gonna be on time today, y'all. This is a new for us. We in a new world, like Malik said. We in a new world. All right, so our icon of the day, Jimmy's got that, is Mr. Junior Bridgman. Correct, Jimmy?
Yeah, we're gonna keep it with the with the topic today, Junior Bridgman. So for those who don't know, Junior Bridgman was a NBA player, first round draft pick. He came out of Louisville, I believe, but he's most known for his business career, not necessarily what he did on the court. in which. But here's the interesting thing about his story. When he played in the NBA during the off season, he literally took a job at Wendy's to figure out how it functioned, how it worked. And upon his retirement, he invested and bought a franchise. He ended up owning 100 Wendy's and Chili's restaurants at one time. He ended up selling those in 2016, and he became the president and CEO of Richmond Foods, which is now a bottler for Coca-Cola. It's one of the top bottlers for Coca-Cola, and he signed a letter of intent in 2018 to take over all the operations in Canada for Coca-Cola.
Wow.
And also this year, he had another company, Bridgman Sports Media. They bought Ebony. So he's now the owner of Ebony as well. So he leveraged his playing career. But the most impressive thing about his story to me is he was willing, as a professional athlete, and he was a pretty good ball player too, to humble himself and take a menial job just to figure out the ins and outs. He was setting up after sports while he played.
His future. He was
Yeah.
He was doing what Malik was talking about. Think about the future and not the present.
Mm-hmm.
Junior
Yep.
Bridges
So,
was
you know, to bring it all home, what Malik said is kind of like what he did. So, you know, salute to Junior Bridgman.
Oh man, I want my people back. I like that.
We gotta support him. Like, so one of the things we talk about in all these new athletes and entertainers who are taking the steps to kind of like revolutionize and do new things, we have to support them.
Yeah. We are the barometer for cool. So if we support them, then everybody will support them.
You know what I mean? How many of y'all using Spotify and not Tidal? No, I'm sorry.
I got both, and I definitely brought Tidal just for the record because a black man had ownership in it. So, and so now, but Jimmy, you make a great point, right? Because I knew Ebony and Jet got sold to black men. I never really looked too deep in it. Time for me to get an Ebony and Jet subscription.
You know what I'm saying? You know, people, you know, rip your stuff off Tidal just to spite you.
All right, so listen, y'all, this was a great show. We did it on time. We was live and direct. So I appreciate everybody being here. Let me see if there are any last comments we should get in.
Pull the comments up we got here.
Yeah, shout out Willard, because we mentioned Willard earlier. RIP to Coach Chaney. We definitely RIP'd him and gave him his respects earlier.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
So we don't have to ask Willard who he's rooting for, because, you know, Arians is his guy, so we already know what that is. Yo, real quick before we get out of here, who y'all got in the game?
Chiefs.
Tampa Bay.
Oh, Chiefs.
Yeah,
Courtney, I don't care.
I
don't care either, to be
I
honest.
I'm rooting for Tampa Bay because Jim gave us a stat during our Sunday seminar that's making me root for Tampa Bay. So
Statistically speaking, after the NFC wins the Super Bowl, the market goes on a bull run, and it goes the opposite way if the AFC wins, and that's been backtraced for literally 5 decades. So
wow.
Vegas has the odds on KC, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it sounds like a bear market if anyway. But try to relate to investing. So
yeah. But, they got the power play over there in KC. So
I'm here for Andy.
I mean, technically, the Chiefs got a black quarterback.
Got a black quarterback and a black offensive coordinator.
Although someone called up to one of my shows earlier and said he's not black, he's biracial, and I was like, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what they called up and said. But that's a whole other show too. So we're not gonna get into that.
We're gonna check out. So Adrian said that's like a 5-part show because there's so many underlying issues to address, and I think you're right, Adrian. So we definitely start mapping that out. But listen, everybody, appreciate you all here. It's 4:00 on the dot. We told you I was gonna be out of here at 1600 hours even, and we're out of here. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week at 7.
Yeah, back to normal.
We'll be back regularly scheduled.
All right, y'all.
Later, everybody. Have a great night. Enjoy the game.
Regular time.